Hi everyone, I'm Kay and this is Crossborder. We created this podcast to bring you stories from creators, entrepreneurs, and industry experts doing fascinating things abroad. We've got a great lineup of guests for you, so hit the like button and the follow, and we'll see you here soon.
Hi, Daniel.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited to talk to you today.
Likewise. You are. I keep telling you this. You need to get into interviewing people.
Maybe this is the thing that gets me there. Okay, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Daniel Modeste. I am a creative who works in photography and film. I work in music, events, and portraiture as well, and editorial stuff. And yeah, my work is really with a view to kind of just exploring the diaspora and how they relate to all of those and how we express ourselves within those. So yeah, that's what I do.
When was the first time you picked up a camera and thought, okay, there's something here?
When I said that I wanted to get into photography, my mum went and she bought me. In fact, no, it wasn't photography. It was back then. It was videography.
Yeah.
And film. And she went out and she bought me. She scrimped and saved, and she bought me a camera for my 17th or 18th birthday. And yeah, like I just used to go around and take pictures of my friends.
Yeah.
And really for me, it was like about capturing memories.
Yeah.
So I have all these pictures from when I was in college, and I used to take it everywhere. Like it was back when, like you'd go out somewhere and you make a Facebook event because you're going to the cinema.
40 photos.
Yeah. And it's like all the photos that we took of people eating in like TGI Fridays.
Yeah. So were you out just shooting by yourself for like hours?
Yeah, I was. I would literally we'd just get our friends together, and sometimes we would do this during work hours as well, because I was a media presenter. We were pretty unsupervised for most of the day, so we made shows that were specifically for like us to get out and just shoot.
Yeah. So let's talk about Crossborder. Why did you sort of choose to get on board with this project? So
I met Kay at Soulfest, which is like a collaboration between ABFF and the BFI. And so I met him there, and he was working there, and I was doing photography basically there, and it was great. It was an amazing festival, and it was my first time there. And for anybody who hasn't been to Soulfest, go, because it's just an amazing show of talent. And yeah, so I met him there, and then we spoke, and he was like, "Oh, actually, I've been needing a photographer." And people say this to me all the time. They say, "Oh, I've been needing a photographer, a videographer." And it's not that I didn't believe him, but I was like, okay, cool, you need one. He's like, I'll get in contact with you. And then like a week later, he did. He really got in contact with me, and he was like, yeah, I've been needing someone. So we met up and we spoke about it, and he spoke about this podcast. And again, like even when he spoke about it, I was like, okay, cool, you have this idea, and people tell me about ideas all the time. But then he really did seem passionate about it, and Crossborder as a concept just seems so interesting to me. I think because I love to travel. And I love the intersection of culture. That's like I guess happens in London as well. London is great for that. It's a melting pot of cultures. And when he was speaking about it, I just thought to myself, "Oh, this sounds like something I could get on board with." Yeah. And I think because part of the reason I enjoy photography so much and videography so much is because you get to meet different people within different fields. And you just never know where that will go, where those relationships will go. So yeah,
that's amazing.
It's a no-brainer.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about London. What's your favorite thing about London?
My favorite thing about London, I think it really is just the fact that there are so many different people here. And I have friends from all over the world. Like I've got friends in the US, I've got friends from Hungary, I've got friends I've got Danish friends, I've got just friends from all over. So it's really a melting pot of different cultures, and particularly for me, like as someone who's of Caribbean descent, like I'm from Grenada, Trinidad, and Guyana, and so it's been lovely seeing, the intersection between Caribbean and African culture, and how that can make something so different and unique, and I think it's one of the things that is great about London. Is that as cold and freezing and as as grey as it can be sometimes, that you will go out on maybe a Friday or Saturday or somewhere, and there'll be like a random day party or something like that, and you can feel the vibrance and the warmth coming
Yeah,
from that
absolutely.
culture, and that's what I love capturing. So
Absolutely.
yeah, that's one of the things I love about
Amazing.
London.
So for me, who's someone who's not from London, I think it's so inspiring just being in the city. It's so old, but yet there's like a whole different kind of world of people that exist in this space, and their cultures are quite prominent, but also there is a London culture. So explain to me what that's like, kind of being a creative in this city that's existed for, hundreds of years, so much history, culture, but also emerging culture.
I have a newfound appreciation for, I think, how there's this kind of blend between, and because of colonization and things like that, there's this kind of odd blend of like people being from Nigeria and they are quintessentially Nigerian, but there are some very British things that they do. And like me as well, I'm from the Caribbean, but like I love tea.
Yeah.
There are like things that are very specific to like being from here and being brought up here. It kind of creeps in ways that you don't expect. It creeps in ways that you don't know. I don't think that I really give off a London aesthetic in my work. People always tell me all the time, your work doesn't look like it's from London. But that doesn't mean I don't like documenting London. And I think there is something to be said for the way that London inspires. It is kind of like there's kind of like this funny culture here. It's like an underdog culture.
Yes.
I think London loves an underdog. What happens to you when you become a big dog? I can't speak to that, but
It's also because the culture here is so, I hate to use this word, but demure. Like, that's really part of British culture, is to not be so loud and flashy. So the underdog culture makes sense.
Yeah.
Who would you like to see next on Crossborder?
Who would I like to see? More Caribbean people. You'll go get more Caribbean people on Crossborder. Yeah. I've got to say that because I'm from the Caribbean, and so yeah. More of the same though. To be fair, at the same time, like more industries, just more. Like I think one of the things that's great about Crossborder is that it doesn't focus on just one industry. We've had people talk about fashion. We've had people talk about the financial world. We've had people talk about the world of languages, and I just think that there's no telling where it could go. I think what I also like about Crossborder is that we're not necessarily talking to just the obvious people that usually end up on podcasts.
Yeah.
So yeah, just more.
That's amazing.
I like to see more, and even maybe more different sets and different environments and things like that. Someone sponsor us and fly us out to, I don't know, maybe we want to go to Zambia or Zanzibar or somewhere and go and interview somewhere there. Let's go.
I love it. Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you for having me. I'm Daniel Modeste. This is Crossborder Podcast, and make sure you follow us on YouTube. Where else will be? Instagram. Everywhere you can get your podcast, make sure you're following us, because we're going to be doing things live and direct.